In the heart of ancient Ethiopia, a colossal empire once stood, casting its shadow across continents, rivaling the might of Rome, Persia, and China. Then, almost without warning, it vanished, plunging a vast and vital region into a dark age of mystery. What truly happened to Axum, this mighty Ethiopian civilization, whose sudden decline left behind only monumental ruins and enduring questions? Welcome to Echoes of Time, your portal to the forgotten pages of history, as we journey into the heart of ancient Ethiopia to unearth the perplexing story of Axum's rise, its incredible power, and the baffling disappearance of its golden age. For centuries, the Kingdom of Axum was more than just a regional power. It was a global player, an economic and cultural nexus that shaped the course of trade and influence between two vast continents. Imagine a time when the Red Sea, a conduit for wealth and ideas, was effectively an Aksumite lake, patrolled by a formidable naval presence that secured its dominion over crucial maritime routes. From the fertile highlands of Africa to the bustling markets of Asia, Axum's ships navigated the currents of commerce, carrying precious goods and ideas, solidifying its reputation as a dominant force in the ancient world. This was an empire that understood the power of control, and its grip on the vital trade arteries between Africa and Asia was the very lifeblood of its prosperity. This was no mere tribal kingdom. Axum was a sophisticated, organized state that commanded immense resources and expertise. Proof of its economic prowess and sovereign authority was stamped into every coin it minted, its own distinctive coinage, a powerful symbol of its independence and its integration into the global economy of its era. These weren't just tokens of exchange, they were statements of imperial might, circulating far beyond its borders, announcing its presence to merchants and empires alike. But Axum's legacy was not just economic. Its very landscape was a testament to its ambition and advanced engineering. Towering over its capital, colossal obelisks, monolithic structures carved from single blocks of stone, pierced the sky. These weren't simply monuments. They were expressions of profound spiritual belief, dynastic power, and architectural genius. Testaments to a society capable of organizing massive labor, skilled craftsmanship, and an understanding of monumental construction that few civilizations could rival. They stood as silent sentinels, echoing the grandeur of a civilization that believed itself destined for eternity. The 4th century CE marked a truly pivotal moment in Axum's history, a transformation that would shape its identity and trajectory for centuries to come. It was during this period that the empire embraced Christianity, making it one of the earliest states in the world to adopt the new faith. This was not merely a religious conversion, it was a geopolitical shift, solidifying Axum's place on the global stage, aligning it with other Christian powers, and providing a new cultural and ideological framework for its people and its rulers. This change permeated every aspect of society, from art and architecture to law and diplomatic relations, fundamentally reshaping its internal dynamics and its external perception. It established Axum as a beacon of Christian civilization in a region increasingly surrounded by other faiths, further cementing its unique identity and its enduring legacy as a major global player. Yet, despite this incredible golden age, a period of unparalleled power, wealth, and cultural flourishing, something shifted. By the 7th and 8th centuries CE, the vibrant pulse of this once flourishing civilization began to weaken, seemingly fading into the historical shadows. The mighty empire that had rivaled Rome and Persia, that had carved its name into the annals of global trade and erected skyscraping obelisks, now left behind only monumental ruins and enduring questions about its abrupt collapse. This was a decline that plunged a vast region into a dark age of mystery, a period where the light of historical records dimmed, leaving historians and archaeologists grappling with the silence. The transition from a thriving global power to a fragmented memory is one of the most perplexing enigmas in African history, a tantalizing puzzle whispered by the ancient stones. Historians have long grappled with this profound historical void, attempting to piece together the fragmented picture of a society under immense and sustained pressure. The challenge is formidable. We possess limited textual evidence from this crucial period of decline, and even archaeological findings, while invaluable, often speak in riddles, offering tantalizing clues but no definitive answers. It's like trying to reconstruct an elaborate tapestry from only a few tattered threads. The narratives that emerge are necessarily speculative, born from painstaking analysis and the careful interpretation of every available whisper from the past. One compelling theory that seeks to explain Axum's vanished glory points to a cataclysmic shift in climate, a fundamental alteration of the environment that had sustained the empire for so long. Imagine vast, fertile lands, the agricultural heartland that fed Axum's populace and powered its economy, slowly but inexorably transforming into arid deserts. Such a dramatic ecological change would have been devastating, an existential threat to an empire built upon the productivity of its land. This wasn't merely a bad harvest. This was a fundamental reordering of the natural world, a relentless desiccation that would have crippled Axum's agricultural base. As the soil dried and the rains failed, populations would have been forced to migrate, abandoning once thriving settlements in search of sustenance and habitable land. This mass displacement would have created immense internal instability, straining resources, eroding social cohesion, and weakening the central authority's ability to govern and collect taxes. A civilization without a stable food supply is a civilization on the brink, and a catastrophic climate shift could have delivered the ultimate blow, slowly starving the empire of its fundamental lifeblood. Another significant explanation for Axum's decline looks beyond its borders, suggesting that external pressures played a decisive role in its downfall. The 7th century CE witnessed the dramatic and rapid rise of Islamic caliphates in the Arabian Peninsula, a new and formidable power that quickly came to dominate the region. This burgeoning power posed an immediate and direct threat to Axum's economic supremacy. For centuries, Axum had controlled the vital Red Sea trade networks, a strategic choke point connecting Africa and Asia. These routes were not just pathways for goods, they were channels for wealth, for cultural exchange, for the very essence of Axum's global influence. The emergence of a powerful, expansionist neighbor across the Red Sea, with its own naval ambitions and control over key ports, would have disrupted these networks severely. Imagine the gradual strangling of an empire's economic lifeblood as its trade routes are diverted, its markets closed off, and its merchants no longer able to operate freely. This economic siege would have starved Axum of the resources necessary to maintain its formidable navy, erect its monuments, support its bureaucracy, and fund its elaborate court. The loss of trade would have cascaded through society, leading to a decline in wealth, a weakening of military power, and a reduction in diplomatic influence, slowly eroding the foundations of its imperial might. This wasn't a sudden invasion, but a more insidious form of attrition, slowly isolating Axum from the global currents that had once powered its ascent. Beyond environmental catastrophe and external economic pressures, a third compelling theory focuses on the internal dynamics of the Aksumite Empire itself. Even the most powerful civilizations are susceptible to the corrosive effects of internal strife. Some scholars suggest that the empire may have been plagued by religious changes or dynastic struggles. While its conversion to Christianity was pivotal, the long-term integration of a new faith can sometimes lead to internal schisms, differing interpretations, or conflicts with lingering pre-Christian traditions or rival religious factions. These internal religious conflicts could have fractured the empire's social fabric, dividing its people and undermining central authority. Furthermore, the perennial problem of dynastic struggles, power plays, succession crises, and civil wars between competing branches of the ruling family could have further destabilized the state. Such protracted empire consumed by infighting, with resources and attention diverted from external threats and internal development to the bitter struggle for the throne. Such protracted internal conflicts inevitably lead to decentralization, as powerful regional lords assert their independence in the absence of a strong central hand. This decentralization would have weakened the empire's ability to respond cohesively to external threats or environmental changes. As the central government weakened, urban centers, once the vibrant heart of Aksumite life, might have been abandoned, their populations dispersing to more secure or resource-rich rural areas. Cities that were once symbols of power and hubs of commerce could have slowly become ghost towns, silent monuments to a power that had turned inward and fractured. The truth of Aksum's vanished glory is likely not attributable to a single isolated factor, but rather to a complex interplay of these powerful forces. It's a scenario often seen in the decline of great empires, an economic strangulation compounded by environmental challenges, further exacerbated by internal political and social instability.
The archaeological whispers, the fragmented historical documents, and the painstaking work of scholars offer tantalizing clues, but they resist providing a definitive, singular answer. Instead, they paint a nuanced picture of an empire under immense, multifaceted pressure, slowly succumbing to a confluence of challenges it could no longer overcome. Aksum's vanished glory is more than just a historical account. It is a detective story spanning millennia, inviting us to ponder the fate of one of Africa's most remarkable ancient powers. It is a testament to the enduring mysteries hidden beneath the dust of centuries, and a poignant reminder that even the mightiest civilizations are ultimately fragile, vulnerable to the tides of change. As we delve into these forgotten pages of history, unearthing the echoes of Aksum's past, we are left to confront not only the questions of its demise, but also the broader lessons it offers. What echoes of Aksum's fall resonate in the stories of civilizations yet to come, or indeed in our own fragile present?